Hello, my name is Chrissy Long, and I am a sophomore for the Montgomery Central High FCCLA chapter, and this is why I say yes to FCS education. This is my project called A Day in the Life of an FCS Education Teacher, and I'm going to tell you why you should become one. First, I will take you through the steps of my planning process. I chose to say yes to FCS Education Star event because I want to influence the future generations to join the FCS career field. Since COVID-19 began, I noticed an increase of jobs in the FCS career field. Since I noticed there was an increase in jobs, there obviously had to be an increase of workers to fill the jobs. Also, another reason why I chose the STAR event is because it allowed me to explore other areas of teaching, because I personally want to become a teacher and I'm confused on what I want to do. I have three main goals for this project. My first one was I wanted to explore the career of FCS education through research. My second goal is I want to successfully teach an FCS education classroom. And my third goal is I want to market FCS education to my peers. This project was very lengthy and it took a lot of time and a lot of people and creativity. And I'll tell you all about it. So there was a lot of people involved, such as me, Maggie Tucker, who is my FCCLA advisor and my FCS teacher, my school administration, my current teachers, and Ashlyn Fazell. What I did in my project was research FCS education as a career, interview 2 FCS educators, observed a CTE in FCS classroom, and market FCS education via teaching. I did this project in the span of November 7th to December 3rd, and I did all of this at Montgomery Central High School. I did this project because I wanted to promote FCS careers to my peers, and I did this through researching, interviewing, observing, and teaching. This project did not cost anything, however, it took a huge chunk of my time and creativity. My resources were my FCCLA advisor, the National FCCLA website, the AA FCS website, a laptop with internet access, Google Forms, Gmail, PowerPoint, and the FCCLA Say Yes to FCS toolkit. I was evaluated by Ms. Tucker when I taught, and I also tested the students on the main parts to see if my plan was successful. On November 7th, 2020, I attended a UT Martin virtual tour. While I was there, I had the opportunity to Zoom with Amy Jones, an FCS professor at UT Martin. While I was there, I was able to interview her. Next, on November 12th, I met with Maggie Tucker and I observed and interviewed her. Then on November 13th, I observed Ashlyn Fazell, who is the agriculture teacher at Montgomery Central High School. And then on December 2nd and 3rd of 2020, I marketed my FCCLA lesson to her class. It was overall successful, and at the end of both days, Ms. Tucker evaluated me and gave me some constructive feedback. Also, towards the end of the class, students had the opportunity to give me feedback on my lesson. For the follow-up on my plan, I would like to improve many things, such as like boosting my confidence, incorporating more hands-on activities in my lesson, and to be more prepared, because I felt personally rushed and I was not ready to accommodate all of the COVID regulations. Also, I would like to thank my FCCLA advisor for her guidance and dedication to my project. Also, I would like to thank my school's faculty and staff for being flexible and understanding while I was doing my STAR event. Here's my evidence of all my summary submission. The first part of my project was that I had to research. I had to research 3 post-secondary institutions that offered FCS education programs. I chose to research UT Martin, Middle Tennessee State University, and Eastern Carolina University. Also, I researched local and state information regarding FCS education as a career. For the second part of my project, I had to interview 2 FCS educators. My first interview was on November 12th, 2020 with Maggie Tucker, who is a high school FCS educator. My second interview was on November 7th, 2020 with Amy Jones, a post-secondary FCS educator at UT Martin. For the third chunk of my project, I had to observe an FCS classroom and a CTE classroom, which is a career technical class. My first observation was with Maggie Tucker on November 12th, 2020. She was teaching an early childhood 2 course at Montgomery Central High School. My second observation was on November 13th, 2020 with Ashlyn Fizell.
We need Jocelyn Seal, Marquise Crutcher, Lorelei Jones, Michael Kogan, and Josiah Howard into the office, please.
Do you possibly think that you can hold the class outside for like the next couple minutes? And then Brianna, pause. How much time was on the timer when that went off?
5:37.
Okay, then hold it for 6 minutes. Keep track for 6 minutes. My second observation, excuse me, there was a technical difficulty. My second observation was on November 13th, 2020 with Ashlyn Fizell. She was teaching an agri-science course at Montgomery Central High School. A minor part of my project was to create an FCCLA integration plan. I had to tie national programs with activities I could complete in an FCS classroom. My first one was career connection, and I tied that with early childhood education. My second activity was with student body, and I teamed that up with lifespan development. And my third one is financial fitness, which I tied with family studies. For my lesson plan, my topic was Say Yes to FCS. I taught the variety of grades 9 through 12, and I taught 3 1.5-hour classes. I tied my lesson with the national program's career connections, and I tied it with the STAR event Say Yes to FCS education. Overall, my standards for the class was that I could identify the 4 main subfields of the FCS career field, and that I could identify the careers in the FCS career field. I tied my lesson with the FCS standard 1.21, which is analyze potential career choices to determine knowledge, skills, attitudes, opportunities, and opportunities associated with each career. I included the main instructional strategy I included was interactive instruction, which was through the FCS career puzzle, Nearpod, and discussions I had in the middle of the Nearpod. My first activity was a Say Yes to FCS career puzzle. It took about 15 minutes, and I got students to kind of break the ice and to get their minds going about different careers. My second activity was an interactive Nearpod, which went through all the points I needed to make to successfully market an FCS as a career. And finally, I did a post-assessment Google Forms and that assessed students on the knowledge when I taught. And when they were completed, they got to do an optional fun little worksheet that I called MASH. I assessed the students through a post-assessment via Google Forms because it was easier to grade. And I created all of the resources in the Nearpod in the PowerPoint. This is one of the interactive Nearpod polls I've had, which is what area of FCS are you most interested in? I did not expect the diverse results.
Jocelyn Seal and Michael Kogan, please come to the office.
Sorry, again, technical difficulties. This next slide was a results from the post-assessment Google form. And the next couple slides are pictures from me teaching. The picture on the left was one of my hybrid classes, and the picture on the right was the traditional class. And the picture on the left for this slide is the FCS career puzzle, and on the picture on the right, it was an image of me preparing to teach while the students were getting settled in. Then the image on the left again was me teaching, and on the right was me helping a student with a question. Here's my works cited page and my response to my evaluator's questions. For my first question, the answer is that I learned successfully how to navigate through Zoom, Google Classroom, and Nearpod through a teacher's perspective. I already knew how to navigate through these as a student. However, I did not know how to as a teacher. Now my skill level in that area has increased. And finally, for the last question, my main obstacle that I faced was COVID-19 regulations. At first, I was unable to teach in an actual classroom. However, I talked to administration at my school and they allowed me to teach in the classroom using regulations. Another obstacle that I had due to COVID was that I had to accommodate my lesson for the 14 students. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. Have a great day.